Hello everyone, Autism Father here with friends on the server. I noticed something. I usually sign on to let the world load before I start recording, and I noticed that I'm moving a bit slow today. If you've watched my other videos, you probably noticed that I fly through here really fast, and I'm not this time. And I was really confused for a minute there because that thing should be boosting my speed quite a bit, so I pressed E and I noticed Strength 2. It's supposed to be Speed 2. And then I looked over here and there was some things on the ground. Meat, coal, and gunpowder. So I looked in this chest, which is not opening. Here we are. And this used to be more than half full. Yeah. The only other difference, I've looked around, I went up top and everything, and I looked around. The only other difference I had noticed was that there's a lot less cows in here, which I suppose explains the meat that was on the floor. So I suppose I had a visitor, but there are no signs that I can see. There's no other evidence. Nothing is gone. Aside from the gunpowder and the beacon being changed and a few cows. So I do not know who was here or what they did. I just wish they would have said hi. I love getting visitors. Speed 2. There we go. You notice everything shifted? Everything looks a little bit further away now. It does that because you are so much faster. Everything looks a little bit further away so that you can see more because you get to it so much quicker. There we go. Aha. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit more exploring today. I'm still looking for a jungle biome or... Hey, what are you doing in here? A jungle biome or a swamp biome. You guys get out of here. I don't want to kill my sheep. So I have my trusty bed. I'm going to get rid of these, I think, and this now. And we shall get exploring. Alright. Not exactly early in the day to be heading out. But with friends on the servers, I can't... server, I can't just sleep the night away and head off in the morning, so... The other day I thought I had lost my ender chest. I thought I had left it who knows where, in the nether I think, I was afraid of. But I didn't, I brought it back with me and I left it here. Unfortunately, that means it's not in my inventory, and my Silk Touch pick, which I used to break it to bring with me, is gone. It broke, and chant as I might, I have not been able to get Silk Touch again. So we head off. Hello, cow, excuse me. We head off in search of a jungle or swamp biome without our trusty ender chest. That's fine. I've been playing this game for quite some time, and the ender chest is still pretty new, really, so I got by without it before, I'll get by without it now. So while we venture and we go looking, I thought I would talk to you about something that's very important to me, and I think it's important to anybody that's ever had to deal with bullying at school, or just having to deal with people who look at you like you're less than what you really are. That is a major drop. Specifically, it's even more noticeable ever since I got involved in the autism community and my son was diagnosed with autism. Nice cave. I might have to go down there one day. See, what happens is with a lot of children, and even adults, because children grow up to be adults, of course, but children with autism are sometimes unable to speak, or if they can, they speak as though they were still very young. Like a 10-year-old might speak like a 4 or 5-year-old, using 4 or 5-year-olds' words or terminology, or just the way they sound. You would think that these are things that a 4 or 5-year-old would be saying. And as I said, they grow older, become adults, and they may progress some, but they would still seem like as though their mind is younger than what their actual age is. So, say they become a 30-year-old, but they still behave like a 12 or a 13-year-old might. The Great Plains. So this is common in well, it's not exactly common in autism, but it happens frequently enough that when oh, okay, I thought those leaves were just floating there. But it happens frequently enough that people who hear about autism, or that there is a child that has autism, they recognize that this may be a possibility. They question, does this child know how to speak? And if they do they act their age? It also happens with some other disabilities and disorders and so forth. What I would like for you to ponder it, though, think about, is a man named Stephen Hawking. He's used as an example an awful lot in the disability world because he is unable to speak or even move much. Sorry, I know I'm going the wrong way, but I wanted to take a look at all this stone. It's a lot of stone in the middle of nowhere. He was not always that way. It was an illness which took over his mind and body and left him unable to function. Basically, I need to find some shelter. And so he was left feeling pretty powerless, I guess. And it's only because of the days and years and the age that we live in, with such amazing technology, with the computers that we have, that they were able to create computers. Let's go to sleep. They created computers which would speak for him. And even though he can't really move... Oh, right, there's still somebody on the server. I don't even know why I'm trying this. Silly me. I said it, and then I went and did it anyway. With the most minimal movements in his eyes and his cheek, just slightest expressions, he can get this computer to articulate his thoughts, and not just any thoughts. Like, he doesn't, it's not just, I'm happy or I'm sad. But this man, Stephen Hawking, is quite possibly, wow, that's a lot of sheep, is quite possibly the smartest man on the planet. Especially in his field. Anyway, he's a physicist, which means that he studies the matters of the universe. Like, he knows how great things, big and small, work, like suns and black holes, and that is an awesome lava fall. He is just really, really, really brilliant. But you have to ask yourself, if this man, who looks disfigured simply because he just hasn't been able to use his muscles and so forth for many years, and is unable to speak and unable to move, and he kind of looks hunched over in his chair, if there was never anything created for this man to be able to speak and to write his books and to teach, he's a teacher, a professor, if these things were not available to him, what would you think of him? How would people treat him? He wouldn't be able to tell anybody any of the things he knows. And he knows a lot. He has changed pretty much everything that we humans know about science and the universe. Just more stone. And he did it with the use of a computer. He didn't use his words because he was unable to. This looks dangerous. Especially with lag. Oh my. I think we'll just avoid these guys if we can. Yeah, if right now, like today, if we didn't have the computer technology that we do, if we didn't have the know-how to have a machine speak, to learn speech patterns, if we didn't have the technology to create devices that could read subtle eye movements or cheek movements or any of these things, if we didn't have this stuff, and we didn't have this stuff just a few years ago, Stephen Hawking would not be able to tell us any of the things he knows. And that would be a great loss for our society and scientists. But more so than that, it would be a huge tragedy, really, that he would be treated like a child. Wow, that's a lot of spiders. I gotta keep moving just in case there's a creeper coming up behind me or something. Yeah, people would quite literally, he would be in a home where he would be fed and cared for, but people would speak about him as if he wasn't there. They would talk about this guy in the chair while he's sitting there listening. They would be saying what a pain it is to constantly be caring for him all the time, even though he would be sitting right there next to them. Because to those people, they would assume that he doesn't understand what they're saying, simply because he could not speak back to them. And this is what happens a lot of the time with children that have autism or other disorders. They're unable to speak. Oh, I was going to go that way. Oh, no, it's not too bad anyway. Or, you know, a child that's 10 speaks as though he's 4 or 5. You don't know what level of intelligence there is in there. There's no way to know, because something in their brain, whether it's brought on by birth or a disorder or an illness that causes something like that, or anything. It doesn't matter what causes it, to be honest. What matters is that there is a real live human being in there, and you don't know. There's no way to know just how smart they really are if they're unable to tell you, basically. And this is a lot of bullying comes from this. People presume that somebody is weak or dumb or, you know, just less important than they are. And then they feel that they have the right to bully them because they're not important. Stephen Hawking, using him as an example again, you know, I don't think anybody would ever bully him because he was very obviously disabled and unable to defend himself. Would, in a sense, be bullied, though, as people talked about him as if he wasn't there, or as they just presumed that he must be really, really dumb because he can't tell anybody anything different. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Some children, I keep saying children because that's how it's usually portrayed, but it's also because that's usually when somebody starts to speak, whether it's right on time, usually 2 or 3 or around there, sometimes even younger, or if it comes later, say 5 or 6 or whatever, they're still children. Even into the teen years, teenager's still a child, right? But even some adults, speech doesn't come until somebody's an adult. They could be 30 years old and just starting to learn how to speak. They learned a long time ago, but they're just beginning to get the ability to. Their mind is giving them the capacity to form the words that they have been wanting to form for a long time. And yeah, people thought they were just really, really dumb. Turns out that they weren't. What it comes down to is in the age of computers and assistive technology, such as really great wheelchairs and motorized vehicles and prosthetics like arms and legs and things that you can attach to your body if you're missing those things. Hello. A cave that's not really a cave. Yeah, we can do so many wonderful things to help so many people that couldn't get help before. They couldn't speak or use their legs or do all these things because the technology just was not there. And it is now with iPads and... Hi. You guys are making me nervous when you just stand there. iPads and computers and motorized vehicles and speech, computer speech. How come none of these skeletons are... Oh, I was just going to say, none of these skeletons are shooting at me, and there it is. A shot in the dark. This dark is taking forever, by the way. Oh man, I still got a long ways to go till daytime. Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is, if you meet somebody... I need to find someplace safe to eat. If you meet somebody that seems like they should be talking like an older person would talk, or they should be talking at all, if they're old enough, you think they should be able to be saying things. If you think somebody behaves a little differently than you, or they need help to get things done, or anything that just makes you think that this person isn't as capable as you are when they should be, it's important to consider that maybe they are. Maybe they are capable, just in different ways, and in ways that have not yet been discovered. I'm sure for a long time, we're back at this ocean. For a long time, people that have lost their legs or the use of their legs, they had no way to get around. They were just stuck. A long time ago, they needed help. They had to be carried or pulled or what have you. And then wheelchairs were invented, and then they had a way to get around. And then motorized vehicles, wheelchairs primarily, but then little scooter machines and things like that, and they were given more mobility. And then prosthetics, where they could get up on their own two fake feet that worked almost as well as human feet, and they could... Are you getting lag? Oh yes. And they were able to get around, and that didn't happen overnight. That happened over many, many years. And the same is happening with people that are unable to speak. It's not that they have nothing to say, and it's not that they do not understand you. They're just unable to speak, and they're not dumb. They need to find a way, or we need to find a way to help them. Never presume, never assume that somebody is dumb because they can't do what you do. So many trees, so few swamps and jungles. See how the stars go back? Goes down. Oh, it goes down, 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 back, down, 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 back. That is server lag. And that is what Tyler was talking about, asking if we are getting any lag. Leave me alone, spiders. I could fight these guys easily enough, but there's no point. I don't need the stuff that they will drop, and I don't need the levels that bad. I can get levels better someplace else. Oh, why haven't you died yet? Thank you. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. My examples are specifically autism because that is the world I know since my child was diagnosed. But Stephen Hawking is not autistic as far as I know, and yet he makes a great example because he is unable to speak, but has a lot of very, very important things to say. And I think that is wonderful that we have the means to give him, not I, but the human race has the means to give him the ability to say the things that he has to say and share with the world, and to prove to the bullies and the disbelievers that just because you can't say it doesn't mean that it's not worth saying. Mountains, mountains, mountains. These are extremely large biomes. That forest went on forever. That ocean is going on forever. Yes, sheep. And these extreme hills, which are behind my base, are all the way over here too. It seems I may never find what I'm looking for. If I was looking for sheep, mission accomplished. Finding lots and lots of those. Alright, we'll come up to this hill here and I'll check. Wow. Okay. You are a nice, warm sight, Mr. Sun. However, you guys are not what I was hoping to see. Everything is still loading. What is that? Another mountain? Yes. Very, very tall mountains. Well, I'm sorry. This was a rather boring episode of running away from mobs and looking for things we did not find. But these were things that I wanted to talk to you about. Talk to you. Oh man. See? Even I can't speak properly sometimes. A lot of times, really. Let's be honest. Must be honest. Pardon me, cow. So I think I shall end it here because now that I didn't find what I'm looking for, I need to go back. And there's no need for you to see that again. But Consider what I have said. Consider how it may affect you at school or at work, or even at the playground or out and about when you see somebody who is behaving in a way that you think is not a way that you would behave. Don't assume that they are any less important than you are, or that they have anything less to say. They may be the smartest person on the planet. Remember. Well, thank you for watching. Until next time.